We got Tyler from Logdotzip up in here.
What's good?
Check out that sweet overlay right there with that logo, socials, and everything.
Thanks. And get a good look at it because we're about to change the logo out to something a little more simplified. So that's going to be retired pretty soon. Yeah. I'll have to show you a preview real soon.
Going through rebrand. I like it.
Yeah, well, I had too many people walking up and saying, "Hey, that looks like a Transformers logo," and half the people don't even know it says my username in there.
Yeah,
it just looks like shapes to them.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Like, I get it. I'll change it.
I'll change it. Yeah. All right. So the first question is Foster's go-to question. Foster is my brother-in-law. He's a fantastic dude, and we're actually hanging out and playing D&D with him on Sunday. I don't know why I mentioned all the extra stuff around there, but his go-to question: what's your favorite flavor of crisps?
Favorite flavor of crisps? Ooh, I would have to say sour cream and cheddar.
Ooh,
bar none. Close second might be barbecue, but only baked because the non-baked is too greasy. And honorable mention, salt and vinegar.
I like the salt and vinegar call.
Mm-hmm,
I like the salt and vinegar call.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude,
it's especially good when it grazes the sides of your lips, the little corners right there, and you just hate life after. It's like a battle that you have to earn the enjoyment of salt and vinegar.
I agree. You got to get the chapstick on early, just to make sure.
Peach flavored, of course.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm stoked to talk a little bit about this map because it was a ton of fun. But I first I want to start with kind of a little bit of your kind of like background, and then talk a little about the YouTube stuff, and then I want to go from there to talk about partner stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to first know like what got you into kind of being a content creator. Either like on the YouTube side, on the Minecraft side, like what kind of started you down that path?
Right. Well, there's two kind of stories there, and they're related in one way. One is the Minecraft side, and one is the YouTube side. So around, about 14 years ago, when I was 14, I started. I was playing a game called RuneScape, and I just loved the heck out of it. And I was always looking at, okay, how do I beat the boss, or what's the best way to train in game? If anyone doesn't know what RuneScape is, it's basically like an RPG set in medieval times. And I'd be on YouTube, and I'd be looking for these guides on how to, be the best player. And I'd notice all the people that made those guides. There was a friends list in this game, and the people that made the videos, all the people would add them to their friends list, and they would message them and spam them in game. Hey, you were the best. Here's some free stuff. And 14-year-old me is like, well, I want some free stuff.
Hell yeah.
So I guess I better make some videos. And so originally I started making videos on guides and what I thought was the best means to get stuff done in the game. And what I ended up finding instead was that I resonated more with the actual people that ended up watching and leaving me comments. And I was always kind of an inside kind of introvert kind of kid when I was growing up. And I really felt like all the viewers and my commenters and subscribers, they kind of resonated with me more in a way that a lot of my more social friends in high school and things did not. And eventually I just started making videos as a means to talk with them. And the Minecraft story came in when Minecraft just came out at some point. And I checked out the game. Actually, the first person that introduced me to the game was Sea Nanners. Did y'all ever see any Sea Nanners videos?
Oh, I don't know.
Definitely have.
I feel like Helen for sure probably has.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I definitely have.
Ages ago. That was probably in 2009 when I first saw some of his videos. Minecraft was in alpha is when I joined and started playing that game. And it was just so much fun that I started making videos on that. And it kind of just went from there. I just started making Minecraft videos instead of RuneScape ones, and started that in a real serious way around 2013. And I've been making content, on Minecraft for the last 7 years and change. And we've done, I believe, about 4,200 videos.
Damn, 4,200 videos, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, something like an average of, one a day for like 11 years.
That's amazing. That's That's a legit grind. That's the thing that I think about, people don't think about a lot with, content creators and stuff like that, is just like the amount of dedication that it takes to start something and continue something, like, being a YouTube content creator, a Twitch content creator, or whatever else. And a lot of times, you're starting out with just, a dozen people watching you.
Right. Oh yeah, I
And kind
remember
of,
my my very first subscriber's name actually. Ninja in Training 1994. If you're out there, thank you. You
Ninja
were
in
my
Training
first
1994. If you're
confirmation.
watching right now, I will gift you a sub.
I will gift you whatever you like, Ninja in Training, because you may have been the catalyst to keep me going. Yeah, I mean, it is whether it's for millions of people, or for your family, or even for yourself. There's just a certain type of joy that goes into not only making videos, but finding the consistency within yourself to carry on making them. I've learned so much about myself through my video making process, and it's truly made me a better person.
Yeah. So you said CNanners kind of got you into Minecraft. One
Mhm.
question from Deckmeister is like, was there any other kind of like YouTubers that you kind of like looked up to? You saw as kind of like an ideal, like, kind of person running their business?
Um, yeah, I mean, definitely. I didn't look at it as much as a business at when I was kind of on the come up, and that's kind of like a newer thing lately where it's a business. Back before I was really seriously into YouTube, it was very much one person shows still, and what we see a lot now is that the bigger YouTubers do have teams. I mean, I've got I believe 17 staff right now, which is kind of absurd if I look back. I used to do everything myself. I looked up to Yogscast way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were an example of a group that had a team back then.
Mhm.
Um, who else? I mean, outside of Minecraft, I always liked Vsauce, and
Mm-hmm.
they certainly had a team of writers, researchers, editors that help compile those videos together. Definitely looked up to Captain Sparkles.
Yeah.
uh, Jordan was always a great inspiration to me. I actually got to meet him alongside Sky Does Minecraft when he was more involved in the scene back in 2013, and they actually were one of the big reasons I got back into Minecraft, because I did start playing it around 2009 and 2010 and uploaded, but then I fell away from the game for probably like 9 months. It was still an alpha. There weren't really mods out for it yet. There wasn't really any means to distribute maps. You had to basically hack the game to add
Mm-hmm.
your own resource pack back then. But I talked to those guys and they're like, "Hey, you should get back into this. You're really good at it." And they really kind of got me back into YouTube. This was right when Java servers were starting to be popular. We saw mini games everywhere. So I certainly looked up to them as well. And they were great in kind of, helping me get a kickstart to my revitalized YouTube adventure.
That's cool. Yeah. So then, you know, going from YouTube to kind of the marketplace, I mean, you were really I think you were the first YouTuber to publish content on the marketplace. Um,
Yes, sir.
and like, first of all, I mean, that's really cool. Like, I mean, that is a huge badge of honor for you, because
Yeah.
you weren't actually the first YouTuber signed, but you're the first one to really, be serious about it, and really kind of make a commitment to making really legit content. I mean, Big Block Island came out first, which was a really cool map with a bunch of cool story stuff. You had the scientist that was kind of leading you around all those giant blocks, and then Block Next
Yes, Professor
Monster.
Rossford.
Yeah, exactly. So I think kind of, a couple questions I have around that were like, what were some of the kind of interesting challenges that you ran into, going from, a YouTube content creator to being a, Minecraft marketplace content creator?
Goodness. How
I,
long do we have to talk about challenges?
we can talk as long as you want, but
Right. It would be a long list for sure. But I'd say that the biggest challenge for me was I'm not a game designer.
mm,
I don't have any. I should say I'm not a game designer in the sense that I never had any formal experience with it. I don't know how to code. Really, what I'm good at is screaming into a microphone and coming up with silly ideas, most of which I guess these days with my development team, most of which are possible. But back in the day, I would just have these awesome ideas for like, okay, what would be not only fun, but what do I think would be really good for YouTube as a video? And one of the biggest challenges I had was finding a team that could take my visions and bring them to life in a way that wasn't going to completely uh I guess, devastate them.
Mm.
And, in the sense of, oh, Tyler's got these crazy illusions of what we could be doing. Okay, well, what's reality? Let's bring him back down from orbit and make something happen. Another big challenge I had was just more on the business side of things, which I know is everybody's favorite thing to talk about, especially with a younger audience. I can't speak to the ages of the people watching you, but this is the stuff I live for. Is the business side. Is
Hmm.
I never really had a terribly large grasp of really what needed to go into forming an appropriate sized marketplace team to make sure that we weren't having one or two people wearing all of the hats, because that can be really hard to do. It's, hey, um, code this for me. Oh, also, by the way, do you know how to build? Oh, awesome. Hey, can you texture, by the way? Oh, can you do the marketing art? Also, help me think of the ideas for this next one. And like, there are some talented people out there that can do that, but boy, if that's not more oftentimes than not a one-way trip to, frustrating people. And so my biggest challenge was just really understanding, like, if I want to take this thing seriously, we need a very large team to make it happen. And you don't
Mhm.
need one, but for me to achieve what I want to do, um, just be a major player in the space, I want a large team, and I want to be able to have multiple people that are doing specific things so that they can focus on what they're best at, and so that I can focus on what I'm best at, which is playing what they make.
Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. I mean, because I think that's a thing that a lot of people underestimate with, going into the marketplace. I see a lot of, comments and things like that that are like, "Oh, I can get this for free on Java," or I can get this mod that's just like that." And it's like, well, there's so much other stuff that goes into being a marketplace piece of content. There's testing, there's QA, there's a marketing art, there's screenshots. There's so much extra stuff that you have to account for, and then also the quality bar and the policies that we have in the marketplace to ensure a safe piece of content, something that is good for everybody, and something that is that meets that quality bar. I mean, there's a lot of specific requirements there. So yeah, there is a pretty large learning process just there from the just making the content side.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And to your point on Java, it's great to have these community options for those talented people out there that want to distribute their things for free. But one thing I hold as true is, unfortunately, you kind of need money to pay the bills and survive in today's world. And if you don't have that as an option, then you are jeopardizing potentially your ability to be able to make free content forever, because eventually you're going to have to choose between, do I want to make this map for free, or do I need to go to work, put in my 8 hours, and make sure I can feed my kids? Now, imagine if you could combine those two things together. Well, now you've got the greatest ability to keep pumping out awesome content for all of those people out there that want to play it, and you get paid to do it, and you get paid to do what is for many people their passion. And I think that's a really exciting thing about the marketplace, and that was one of the original values I saw in it. And I think more and more Java creators are coming around to that notion as well. And hats off to the ones that are still creating free stuff for the massively large Java community that I still consider myself in a large way to be mostly in.
Hmm. Yeah, you touched on why I love clocking at 9 every day. Is that I can go and help these people build their businesses around making Minecraft content in a way that really wasn't possible before. And then that's the thing, is that it doesn't actually like detract at all from the free content. A lot of the times, a lot of these, I take Nox Crew for example. Like
Hmm.
Minecraft Championship, which I assume is something that everybody in this chat has seen and loves, like wouldn't have been possible without the marketplace, because they are using the money that they're building and making from the business side of the marketplace to go and fund MCC. And like that is such a huge community staple, and like that's the power of it. So it's like both of these things can exist in you know in harmony, really, which is really really awesome.
Yeah, that's been amazing to watch evolve, and it kind of came around in fairly short order. It's
Hmm.
it's quite the phenomenon, and
Yeah.
yeah, hats off to Nox Crew.
Yeah. So another question from Deck: what's your favorite map that you've played
Ever?
ever?
Hmm. Ooh, that's a rough one.
Hmm.
Um,
It's a tough one for me too. So
right. I gotta think about it. Um, I played actually a really awesome map that was dedicated to my character Logdotzip and my old sidekick Pet Chicken Drumstick. It was called
okay.
Where's Drumstick? And for those of you that don't know, it was he showed up in a lot of my content from a few years ago. Still don't know where he is. I think he's still on vacation. My pet chicken, he goes missing, and I wake up and determine that he's not there, and I have to go on this very long quest to find him through tons of trials and tribulations with little hints along the way until I eventually reach the epic finale of the map. And I don't want to spoil it because it's still out there, but it was heartwarming to see a map that was not only an amazing quality, lengthy map. It took me, I think, an hour or two to get through it, but was dedicated to me and to my pet chicken, you could say. And honestly, I'd say that my favorite maps are always going to be the ones that came from, the desires of my viewers to want to make something that can be maybe used as tribute to me, or they just want my eyes on it. And like, what an honor.
Hmm.
People wear my skin. Not in real life, thankfully. People wear my Minecraft skin.
Take that out of
You know.
context real quick. Hey, somebody just clip that. Like people wearing Tyler's skin all around. No.
Oh well, Halloween's coming up. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just anything that's made with me in mind it's just I'm just so appreciative of it, and I never thought it would happen. I mean, I never thought any of this YouTube stuff would happen, and so that's my easy cop out answer. But it's also true, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice when the things that you like enjoy doing and like being able to celebrate your community like that really becomes some of the most fun stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
talking about your team a little bit more. So how many people contributed to Arcade Dropper, and kind of what's the current size of your team, and then do you have you're kind of talking about kind of separating the roles and kind of roles and responsibility of designers, builders, and things like that. So what's kind of the makeup of your team right now?
Sure. Well, we've kind of got two teams amongst my staff. We've got the video production team, and then we've got the marketplace team, and they'll oftentimes help each other out. Sometimes we'll have people from the marketplace team or our development team that will help fix something in the map for the video I'm recording, or sometimes we'll have our graphic designer make some of the artwork. For example, some of the ones you saw in Arcade Dropper, those were put together by one of our team members that also does my thumbnails for our videos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Arcade Dropper was it was an interesting project, to be honest. It was kind of still in the water for a long amount of time. I think we technically started development on the map close to a year and a half ago, and then after about 4 months in, it kind of fell to the wayside in favor of jumping into some other endeavors, making sure that other projects came through. We were waiting for certain technical aspects and features to come out on Bedrock before we attempted to see the game fully realized. We actually partnered with another publisher on the marketplace as well, Sapphire Studios.
Oh, cool! I love
Yeah,
those guys over there.
yeah. Viles and Hex.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the ones that put together the maps that you guys were actually playing today. And they were behind, I believe, a couple of the models that we saw in there. Some of our team members handled the models as well, but we partnered with them. And then in terms of kind of revitalizing the map, we finally got one of our previous maps out, Block Ness Monster, which is
Mm-hmm.
another fun one of mine, of ours, I should say. But once that was kind of out of the way, we decided to refocus in on Arcade Dropper, clean up some of the old code that was found in there, bring it back to life. And after a solid, 3 months or so of familiarizing ourselves with that content, we were able to push it out. We were done with the map, I think, like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago,
Oh
but
wow. Okay.
we quickly picked up an opportunity to work with another company, Nvidia, on an awesome brand deal where they basically had us create an RTX map to show off the new features of the RTX graphics card. And that was a start to finish project of 6 weeks. And so that was a rapidly put together one with a couple of our developers, as well as a handful of builders, a couple leads on that. But the main reason we didn't push out Arcade Dropper for a couple months is because of the dreaded gray lists.
Yep.
For anyone listening, there's certain tiers of gray list where if your map is too intense for any phones or certain consoles, perhaps, it won't show up. And we wanted to make sure that this game could be as accessible to as many players as possible. So we went through, did some code optimizations, make sure we got rid of any super intense graphic spots and pushed it out. And it's still, in my eyes, as beautiful as ever. To answer your question about specialized roles on the team. So we have myself, and I mostly serve as the creative. What is the overall vision of the project? What is the purpose of the map? What problem are we trying to solve for the proposed player base? We've got a couple people that act as team leads. Speaking more to the specialized roles, we've got designers that focus on the code of the game, the mechanics. Okay, when you step on a pressure plate, make sure it teleports you to the front of the arcade. Make sure that triggers the voice acting for the arcade owner to say whatever he needs to say. We've got the modelers that modeled the token or modeled the arcade owner. We've got the texture pack creators for any custom graphics. We've got people on the video production side that help us with some of the sound design, sound effects, bringing all those things together. And we're about to pick up an actual game designer and
cool.
project lead to act as the glue to see all those things come together. I want to keep that a secret as to who we're talking to. We have a couple more I's to dot and T's to cross first, but I imagine many of you will be familiar with who it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Little teasing it there.
Like many of us, like people here in this chat right now.
I would say people in Quinn's Twitch chat, if they play a lot of maps or watch people play a lot of maps, and certainly people at Microsoft.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I love seeing teams grow. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's super cool. So question from chat. I think one of your fans has a request, so I'll let you field this. Log.zip, would you play my Minecraft map that I'm currently creating some time and record it? It's called SciPath, and I'm working hard on it, and it's okay if you can't, he says.
Well, I would like to see the final result of that, and then once I get a chance to see it in its completed form, I'd love to be able to check it out and can get back to you then. So you make sure to reach out to me on Twitter if you have it, and you can shoot me a link when it's ready. I'm actively checking my Twitter, and if it's a good fit, then you betcha we'll play it.
Cool. And then one other request, and we'll kind of jump back into the questions. One of the devs from Minecraft, Corner Heart in the chat, he has one of his friend's kids who's a huge fan of yours. Would you be able to do a shout out to Ari?
Ari, what's good? Thank you for being a huge fan. I really appreciate that you are joined or that you've got a corner looking out for you. Thank you so much for being one of many who gets to change my life and make it possible on a daily basis. I really appreciate you. It's always awesome to hear that people are fans and right back at you. I'm a fan of you. I wouldn't be able to do what I love every day if it weren't for people like you. So thank you, Ari.
Look at that. All right, so I want to talk about the voices in the map. I think that was the thing that really got me. I watched the trailer and I could not stop laughing. So tell me about the voices. I feel like I recognized a couple. So tell me about the process of first of all the kind of the voice acting part and how that's kind of potentially different than kind of what you're doing on the YouTube side. Then I'm also kind of curious about, building the actual scripts and things like that too.
Sure. Well, I don't know. I've always dabbled around with doing silly little voices. Again, I wouldn't consider myself an amazing voice actor by any means. I have no training there. I haven't learned dialect. I haven't learned inflections necessarily. And being transparent with everybody, you can hear during the map itself certain dialogue the arcade owner sounds a little bit different in one part than it does in the other. So there's always that challenge of making sure that you can keep continuity of, the voices that you decide to include at any given time. Yeah, I mean, I've always just watched other videos on YouTube of, Ego Raptor was always an inspiration. I used to watch his stuff on Newgrounds way back in the day. And he'd always do a bunch of voices. And actually, Billy Saxby, oh boy, I'm here to play in the arcade. That's actually that's a play on Ego Raptor's Pokemon trainer in his old Pokemon. I forget the name. His old Flash video of it. But yeah, I just love doing voices. It's playful. I've always been a fan of just kind of changing it up, and I would lend my voice to a couple different shows back in the day that were up on Machinima, where I was the the evil henchman sidekick or the evil boss's henchman.
Oh my gosh, no way.
The moderators over here. Yeah, just fun little stuff like that. And
oh my gosh. Okay, that's it. That's a tell. You can no longer say you are not a voice actor. So first of all, I could not tell it was you. And I've hung out with you how many dozens of times, and I could not tell it was you on either of the voices in the map. And then finding out that you were the voice behind that Machinima, I never would have guessed in a million years.
Oh,
never, ever.
You
are so
me.
good. You are so good.
Well, we can agree to disagree. I got a lot of work to do. We can call it that, huh? But
okay.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I get to play with my voice, and it was a lot easier to do when I wasn't on the webcam and all the videos, because sometimes I get a little bit shy, or sometimes I don't feel like, oh, can I do this voice? Can I make it happen over there? All these different dialects and things like that. And when I see myself making those voices, it's like, I kind of lose that confidence. So that's where I need to practice. I need to just knock it out regardless, and just jump into whatever character makes sense for me to jump into. Now, in terms of the scripting, a lot of it was just thinking of what I wanted the character to be. And so you have this idea of an arcade owner. And, you hate to play into stereotypes sometimes, but when I think arcade owner, I think ponytail, I think kind of greasy. You know what my actual inspiration was? The comic book store owner from The Simpsons.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of see some of that in the model of the character. And I was like, okay, well, how did that guy sound? And okay, let's try and base that off of that character, and then it's just a lot of practicing in voice programs of, well, does he sound like this, or does he sound like this? Maybe he's more of a higher pitched voice. Maybe sometimes you just keep your finger under your nose and you get this little nasally thing the whole time instead. All sorts of different ways to just kind of change the way the wind hitting your sound pipes, or the air hitting your windpipes rather, comes out. And then it's just a lot of takes. It's a lot of takes. It's, I didn't like how I sounded on that one. I should have added more heavy breathing on this other one. That one sounded too creepy. I could not tell you how many times I had to redo the waifu line. It was a rough one for sure. And then it's part of our project kind of outlines of, okay, well, where do we need this dialogue? Where do we need this audio? Did they unlock a certain mode in game? Okay, well, the arcade owner, he's kind of the glue of the instructions of the map. He should definitely say something about that when you've done it. He should be encouraging the player as they make more and more progress, so that they're aware they're making more and more progress. There should be an opening at each of the levels. He should be, congratulating you at the end, encouraging you to do more. And so all those things get figured out when we do the project outline. And at that point, it's a mixture of me alongside a mixture of my development team. Hey, Tyler, you've got these lines that you wrote, but there's this new mechanic that we need the arcade owner to explain. We looked at how you wrote this other stuff, and we wrote up basically what we think we would say, what he would say in that context. Can you shoot us that line? Or we need a reshoot, or all these things. So it's definitely a mixture of my team and I throwing things together, and then me just kind of finding a voice based on things that have already existed out there.
That's cool. I mean, I love that it's just such a collaborative process too, where it's like, you're really working with your team to be like understanding what is needed from the design side, and then filtering that through the the creativity and wackiness that you kind of bring to the table with that. That's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, and it's certainly been a learning experience.
Oh, I'm sure. So last couple questions. So there were 15 different droppers. I
Yes.
think my favorite question to always ask, how many did you have to cut, or did you actually ship all 15? Was there any ones that you wanted to do that you couldn't end up doing, or didn't quite work?
So I believe we started with 12 droppers and decided that we wanted to bump it up. And so we went up to 15, and I don't believe we cut any.
Damn.
What we did do instead was we realized, okay, we need to make something that is going to be relatively easy for people to play on their phone, because I'm used to playing with keyboard and mouse, and I just have this dexterity on that compared to someone on their phone. And so that's why, right, you guys were able to, I mean, you guys are pro, don't get me wrong, but there's a large reason why you guys could breeze through a lot of those levels. Is we wanted to make sure that this was fun regardless of who was playing it and on what device they were playing it on. And so when we realized that we made the maps, pretty easy, at least for a keyboard and mouse experience, we realized, okay, well, we need to also make sure that we are catering to our more hardcore players, our experienced players, the ones on keyboard and mouse. And so we introduced the hard mode. And then if anyone makes it all the way to the end of that, we've got random mode as well.
Mm-hmm.
And random mode, are you guys aware of what that one is?
No, I have no idea.
So, random mode essentially, there are 3 different exits for every single level, and every time you enter in on random mode, the code will choose which of those exits you is opened. And so every time you enter it, it will randomly choose that. And so each time the exit is different, you have to find out which one to go to complete it. And so we took our 15 levels and we said, okay, well, we want this to be somewhat of a longer map too, for data and metric purposes, performance purposes, things of that nature. But we want to make sure that casuals can play it. We want to make sure that completionists want to play it. And so we added in hard mode. We added in random mode. We
Mm-hmm.
even added in nausea mode. And there's even an infinity dropper mode
Yeah, I saw
in
that where
the
it's
map
you
as
get
well.
like one life or something. It's like trying
Yeah,
to
you
make it
get
through.
exactly. You get a
Damn.
life, and you have to make it to the bottom, and then once you do, it'll load up another level for you, and it keeps track of how many levels you can beat in a row without losing any lives. And so, that was what was cool about the whole process. We essentially fully used everything we wanted to and had planned to for the map, added on a little extra, and then put a little bit of zest on top of that as well to make sure that all of those pro gamers out there didn't burn through, such as yourself, in 20 minutes time.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's just so much replayability too, where you can try and, get as many, many maps as you can, chain together in infinity mode, or, try and
Mhm.
just do the hard mode. Cause I could even see like, spending an hour on one of those maps in hard mode or something like that.
Oh, it gets rough.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're really getting
Nausea
like,
mode. Good luck.
I know I was like, I didn't even want to go there, but, like you're really getting a full package for the for the 990 coins. And I think when you're looking at the marketplace content, like you're really getting something that you're going to get us be able to spend a lot of time, get a lot of quality, and have a lot of fun playing that and stuff like that. So last
Well,
question
yeah. Lay it
is
on me.
what was your favorite dropper in the map?
My favorite dropper in the map, I would have to say, hmm, just as an overall, in terms of theme, in terms of easiness, what do you think?
Let's do, how about one of each? How about theme and difficulty? How about those two?
Um, my favorite themed one was probably, I think, oops, the name escapes me, but it's the Italian plumber level.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
My Italian plumber level was probably my favorite themed one. That or the the Frogger one was a very fun one as well, dodging all the rain.
Yeah, the rain makes it cool. I like that one too.
It's fun, and that's really cool about some of the maps as well. Is like some of them, if you're daring enough, you can slowly make your way down them. You can literally ride the raindrops all the way down if you are having trouble with any specific part of the map. And so it's a few different ways to approach them. But theme, we'll go with Italian Plumber. And then in terms of difficulty, I would say it was probably the one with the sakura trees. Right before Shanghai Dive. Goodness, the name is escaping me. It's been a while.
I think it's Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift. Yeah, that's right. That one was a particularly fun one as well. That one actually we had to change because the difficulty level on it originally was insane, like extremely difficult. And we did a lot of play testing to make sure that we could even beat the map we were about to put out. That one, I guess the original difficulty there was probably my favorite because I was just stuck on it forever. But ultimately, the hardest one is by far the one I watched you guys all struggle on at the end, which was Armageddon.
Oh,
yes, makes
yeah, that
enough
was
sense.
tough.
Yeah. Good luck to anyone doing it on their phones.
Yeah, that one was not easy. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, but there are a couple paths, and I saw you kind of sneaking your way towards finding that second one there, and that's what's really cool is we made sure that there were a few different ways to approach all of the different dropper levels. And so if you are getting frustrated on one, hey, you might be able to find another.
Exactly. Well, cool. Tyler, thank you so much for hopping in here and joining the stream. Do you have anything cool coming out from Logdotzip that you want to give a little shout out to?
Ooh.
Anything
Okay.
Plug.
Sure. So we've got a couple skin packs that are nearing completion. We actually just submitted one of them today. So depending on how that goes through rotation, that might be out in the next 1 to 3 weeks on the submission process, and there'll be a second one shortly thereafter. We're currently working on our next major project, which will be more of a survival type map.
Ooh,
Where you'll
okay.
be able to take your survival world and live in it and use an awesome mechanic that we've implemented that drastically changes the purpose behind a lot of items you might normally consider useless in the game and breathe some life into them.
Interesting.
You'll want to play your regular old survival world on this map, and you can bet that we'll be running a YouTube series on it as well when that comes out. That will probably be, well, our goal will be before the end of the year to put that one out. And so we've got a very capable team right now to make sure that that sees its way through. And then look out for us in 2021. We've got very high aspirations for that year, and we hope to be an extremely large player in the space in the next year.
That sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to all the stuff that you put out. So
I am as well. I got a question.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of Arcade Dropper?
Oh,
And
that's a good
Helen
question.
and Chris, if you're there.
I would say I think there's two
Yeah,
pieces.
I'm here.
I think the voice acting and just like
that's fine.
Yeah, like the lines I think were just such a level of polish and fun and interestingness on top of there. And then probably my favorite drop I think was probably the Frogger one. Like I think that one was like, it was the one that felt so fast, like the way, like how fast you were dropping just because of the kind of perspective with all the small things. And then the way the rain was, I think was really, really cool. So I think those are my two favorite pieces. Chris?
That's great.
So I actually agree. I really liked the Frogger one. I was in my own little world actually trying to walk down the rain. And looking around at the build, you could see all the love that went into it. And it was just fun to look at. But yeah, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was fun, and there really was a lot of love that went into this map, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, you could say. And I'm very thankful for my team that was able to put it together, so that all I have to focus on doing for the most part is screaming while I play it. If you ever get a chance, go look again at Shanghai Dive and that crazy large city, and there's just an infinite amount of love really put into all the levels, but those specific city and town looking ones, that's where a lot of that really shines and comes out. And really appreciate that y'all took a chance to play the map. I'm really glad you guys got to showcase our Shanghai Dive return to me feature. So much fun. Love that.
Yep. It's all good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun seeing this through from start to finish, and yeah, thank you for playing it.
Of course. Well,
Yeah,
awesome.
it was awesome. So good.
All right,
And
Tyler.
I'll put in a good word at the arcade for you guys.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, if you
Extra
give me some
pizza.
extra tokens on the side or something like that, that'd be great.
Oh.
Maybe like $5 off a pizza.
Yeah, you don't want to know where that pizza's been though,
No, that's true.
or
Just-
when it's been.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. At the next partner summit, Tyler, you have to just like walk up to me and use that voice.
Yes.
And I will just die laughing. It'll be amazing.
You know, I'll do it for you, Helen.
Oh, thank you.
My pleasure. Always on the hunt for those waifu pillows, you know.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
yeah,
Of
totally.
course.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Oh man. Tyler, I'm looking forward to the next partner summit. It's gonna be good to hang out again, and we'll have to grab a drink soon. If once all this shit kind of blows over, it should be
Absolutely.
a good time.
And anytime you're in Texas, we can get some good square dancing in, make it happen.
Get some good
I
barbecue.
seriously know how to square dance. Like, I'm
Oh,
not
you'll
even
have to
joking.
teach me.
I totally can. I took 2 semesters of it. Like, I'm not even joking. I seriously know how to square dance.
All right. Well, when all this blows over, we'll go square dance, block dance, get some brisket, go
Oh,
do
hell
some
yeah.
yeehaw stuff here in Texas, and I'll tell you what, we'll have a good old time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait. Oh boy. I can't wait.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good weekend.